We marvel at the wide variety of animals, from parrots to polar bears. But when it comes to people, our tolerance for difference often shrinks. What if we could meet human diversity with the same wonder and grace we have for animals? Curiosity can move us closer to love, and accepting difference might just be the path to a kinder, more connected world. Welcome to Spiritual Geography. I'm Joni Miller. Do you remember what it was like to visit the zoo as a child? Maybe you stopped first at the monkey enclosure, watching them leap from branch to branch, screeching and wrestling and chasing each other with wild delight. You might have laughed, surprised by how much noise and energy could come from such small bodies. Then maybe you wandered into the bird house, bright flashes of color weaving through the air, song after song filling the space like a living orchestra. No two birds looked or sounded the same. Some perched in silence, some flapped frantically, and somehow every bird belonged. And then, down a quiet path, you came to the giraffes. Tall, slow, almost impossibly graceful. They didn't call attention to themselves. They didn't need to. Their presence alone was enough to make you stop and take notice. You didn't expect the monkeys to act like the birds, and you didn't wish the birds were more like the giraffes. You just watched, amazed. Because difference wasn't something to explain or fix. It was part of the wonder. Yet, somehow, when it comes to people, we humans forget that we are part of this incredible biodiversity of the natural world, too. And we're not just diverse in biology, but in personality, culture, belief, emotions, energy, and expression. We are as varied as the animal kingdom. And yet, when we encounter a human who moves through the world differently than we do, that sense of awe usually evaporates quickly. With people, we get suspicious of what doesn't feel familiar. We see someone different from us, and we often react with discomfort, rejection, or fear. That doesn't mean we're bad people. It means we're wired to respond that way as humans. Our nervous systems are designed to scan for danger. It's an evolutionary trait. When something or someone doesn't align with what we know, our unconscious mind may label it as a potential threat. We also seek mirrors, individuals who reflect our values, beliefs, and ways of being. This inclination is natural. Research shows that even infants, often by 3 months of age, begin to prefer faces that resemble those they see most often, suggesting that familiarity feels like safety. But over time, that mirror can become idealized. In the 1940s, psychologists Kenneth and Mamie Clark conducted the famous doll test, where young children, many of them black, were asked to choose between dolls of different skin tones. A disturbing number chose the white dolls as good, pretty, or right, even when those dolls didn't look like them. That response wasn't hardwired, it was taught. And it reveals just how early and deeply we absorb messages about which differences are acceptable and which aren't. When we only trust what mirrors us or what we've been conditioned to admire, we miss the extraordinary richness of the human ecosystem. We forget how to look through windows instead of just searching for reflections. Here's the hopeful part. We can unlearn this. Biases may form early, but they're not fixed. Research shows that regular exposure to diverse people, perspectives, and environments helps reduce unconscious bias, sometimes even eliminating it. The more difference we see, the less we fear it. Let's start unlearning this by using an animal analogy closer to home, from the zoo to your neighborhood's sidewalk. Think about dogs. Most of us know what it's like to walk a dog or to see two dogs meet on the street. They don't run up and instantly become best friends. They pause. They sniff. They circle. One might wag, another might bark. They're assessing. Are you friend or foe? Are you safe? Can I trust you? Dogs are cautious, but not cruel. Curious while still being protective. They don't expect every dog to act like them, but they do stay present. They lead with instinct and observation, not judgment. So here's a gentle reframe based on the animals around us, a different way to see the people who challenge us. What if, instead of asking, why are they like that? Why aren't they more like me? We asked, what ecosystem do they belong to? Every person is shaped by their internal and external environment, by what experiences they've had, what they've adapted to, and what they've learned to embody. Some people are like camels, built for endurance, able to carry emotional weight across long distances without complaint. Others are like hummingbirds, moving fast, needing bursts of energy and regular rest. Some are wolves, loyal to their pack and ruled by instinct. Others are polar bears, surviving intense emotional climates that would freeze the rest of us. Just like in nature, human difference doesn't mean defect. It means design. Dogs don't instantly love every other dog they meet, but they don't reject them either. They pause, they sniff, they assess. They don't judge difference, they investigate it with caution, yes, but also with presence. Curiosity is how they stay safe and how they stay open. What if we practice that same kind of everyday wisdom? What if we noticed our instinct to recoil, but chose instead to sniff it out, to ask a question, to stay present, to wonder? We may not be able to change our nervous systems overnight, but we can train our hearts toward connection. One pause, one breath, one curious moment at a time. So the next time someone throws you and you feel that inner jolt of judgment or confusion, pause and ask, what kind of animal are they? Not to mock, but to marvel and be curious. They belong to a landscape you may never have visited. They are carrying a story, a design, a rhythm that is no less sacred than your own. because we are all part of this ecosystem, all part of the wondrous zoo of humanity. We don't understand the mysteries of the universe, but we can grow more love. Love for ourselves, love for others, and love for the infinite mystery that lays beyond our understanding. Thank you for tuning in.